just wanted to ask.
Here we go. All right, my name is David. I'm a TI, and I'm with Andrew. He's a TI, and today we're just gonna talk about different stuff. And one thing we're gonna talk about, the main thing we're gonna talk about is who we think is behind this, and what the motive is behind all this stuff happening to us, and why they go to all these links to do what they do and spend all this money. So, Andrew, I'm gonna kind of let you, since you contacted me about this, just to start. Just tell me what you think's really going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I just want to say that I don't do these shows coming from some type of I'm not a whistleblower. I've never worked in government, um, and I don't usually come to the shows with um, just presenting a bunch of facts as far as like dates of laws enacted and stuff too. Although I do think there's a time and place, but this is coming from 10, 11 years of experience when I started noticing this. And so I like to consider myself an expert because I've been in contact with other people that are targeted, and just know a lot of information about what's going on with us, what's happening to us. So I just kind of want to talk about this is the biggest topic that I have noticed in the targeted community, um, is who's doing this and why. I've heard some people say that it's not the government, it's China or it's Russia, or it's not the government, it's the Freemasons, or it's not the government, it's the government and the Freemasons, or it's actually I've heard other theories that it's not. It's all spiritual warfare. That it's all just people casting spells and demonic entities. And I've heard some people even go as far to say that it's aliens and it's reptilian shapeshifters and stuff, which I think is, I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to laugh because I mean, I think some of these people, of course, I don't know for sure, and neither do I care, honestly, that some of these people are paid to come into the community and start saying stuff like that. Because if somebody from the outside going to listen to that, they would think, yeah, these guys are conspiracy theorists or something like that.
I,
but
I really, I really think because the Operation Paperclip, it's how you had the scientists coming over here from Nazi Germany, and um, what they did was they wanted to, they were committed a war crimes. They were convicted of war crimes, fixing to die. Well, what they would do was the ones they wanted in America to help out, they would put a paperclip on their file, and the paperclip meant uh, get them a new identity and make sure they make it to USA. So I really think that they brought some of the psychological operations over because if you read about the Zetzer song, uh, that it was a psychological operation that done just that, smeared you, ran you out of the community, made you an outcast. So I really think it stems from that. That's just my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah, of course I do believe that that Operation Paperclip was a real thing. Um, but I think it's just gotten way more complicated. I think maybe the the purpose of it, why they're doing it is kind of like on the lines of that. They're doing it for experimentation because I think they're actually getting ready to ramp up a new type of society in the future. Like right now, we have beat cops and you get sentenced to a physical jail. I think in society, what they want to do is like stuff like preemptive policing, where they know you're going to do a crime before you do it.
Yeah,
Or
thought police.
yeah, just like literally George Orwell, 1984. And also, if they don't have enough room in the prisons, they're going to send you to a new type of prison, like in your own home, where or a new type of sentence where we're going to
Yeah, and a
send.
lot of us are already in prisons in our own home.
Yeah, and so I just want to do something, if you don't mind. I want to read the mission statement from Infragard, if you don't mind.
Okay. Mm-mm.
And so this is on the Infragard website, and I just want to read it because I believe this is coming. this is coming from our government at the highest levels of government, our intelligence agencies working with the FBI, Homeland Security, and also private, pseudo-private government entities. And from them, this is delegated to citizens to perpetrate the gang stalking and stuff. That's what I believe. And so I just want to read this mission statement from the Infragard website. Okay, welcome to Infragard. And you guys, whoever's listening to this, can go on the site right now and look it up. So it says, welcome to Infragard. Infragard is a partnership between the Federal Bureau of Investigation and members of the private sector for the protection of U.S. critical infrastructure, whatever that means. Through seamless collaboration, Infragard connects owners and operators within critical infrastructure to the FBI, whatever that means, to provide education, information sharing, networking, and workshops on emerging technologies and threats. Again, this is all vague. Like what are threats to them? I mean, anything. But Infragard's membership includes business executives, entrepreneurs, lawyers, security personnel, military and government officials, IT professionals, academia, and state and local law enforcement, all dedicated to contributing industry-specific insight and advancing national security. So this is very vague. And, to me, I think they just want funding. And so they obviously have to create problems in national security because they have to get more funding, right? And they have to create threats. Well, what if there's not that many threats? Well, you have to create threats. You have to create some type of data, some type of list where, oh, this guy's had too many jobs or he's moved around. I believe also you can get put on this list because you pissed off the wrong person who worked in the government. And they're like, okay, we'll get this dude and we'll put him on a list. Or, somebody works in government. Well, their cousin owns a business and you pissed off their cousin. So we're going to put you on this list. And so they have to create threats. Well, now you're a national security threat, you see, because you've moved around too much. You've had too many jobs or you have a history of drug abuse. And so you're a national security threat. So,
right. And what you said matches what this says about getting people to accept a new form of society. It says the goal of the Setzerzung is fragmentation, paralysis, disorganization, and isolation of the hostile and negative forces in order to preventively impede the hostile and negative activities, to largely restrict or totally avert them, and if applicable, prepare the groundwork for a political and ideological reestablishment.
Where did you read that from? I'm sorry.
This is on Wikipedia, of Setzerzung. It says, and if you notice the last, it says, if applicable, to prepare the ground for a political and ideological reestablishment.
Oh, yeah, Setzerzung.
Yeah, Setzerzung, yeah. Setzerzung. I say it wrong. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I was just clarifying. And I think a book that I really want to get is that Dr. Ronnie Kilda.
I couldn't find it nowhere. I've been looking for that book. It's not on Kindle or nowhere that I've been able to find it.
I guess it's pretty hard to get. I've listened to a lot of the audio books on YouTube and stuff. But that's something I'm really interested in, is trying to.
It's Bright Lights and Dark Shadows or something like that.
I think it's called Bright Lights on Black Shadows, but she's done a lot of other stuff. And she's done a lot of other stuff I don't know if I agree with either, about aliens and stuff.
Yeah, she mentions that.
So I'm not really sure about that. But while we're on the topic, because I just read that Infragard thing, I just kind of want to just talk about my personal views on government, and what a government would look like. And, I think this program is a direct result of an out of control government. I consider myself like a libertarian. I've read a lot of Ayn Rand, and I listen to a lot of anarcho-capitalists. I'm not sold on complete voluntarism or anarchy, or objectivism, but I do believe in very limited government and very limited scope of government. I think the only role of government is essentially to protect the individual rights our natural rights or of citizens. So via police force, judicial system, military. Um, and so I don't think it's the government's job to do anything but protect the rights of the individual rights of its citizen. I think if we existed in a society where people were free to do things like make bad decisions, like prostitution, drug abuse, um, even euthanasia, although I'm not an advocate of any of those, I think humans should have free will, just like God gives man free will. I think humans should have the free will to do those things unless you start uh, violating the individual others citizens individual rights. Like if I were to break in your house, harm you, commit fraud against you, it would be the government's job to that's where the government's job um, be to step in. So I don't agree with like a health department, the social security. I don't think that the government's job is to create roads. I don't think it's the government's job at the fed, city, state level to open up libraries. I to provide health care. I mean, and these are pretty radical views, and I don't really like to get in debates about them because that's not why we did this show. This show is to talk about being targeted. But I just wanted to throw my views on government is because I believe that us being targeted is a direct result of an out of control, out of scope government. But,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, the deep state. And you know what I think, people's like, oh, you're a targeted individual and seems like you're no, I'm not anti-government. I love America, but what America's become and what it's doing to its own people, I don't like. I'm convinced that there's military people that's trying to serve the military and protect this country and don't know nothing about this going on. Now I don't think everybody in and I'm all for the soldiers that are doing this, that are soldiers to protect this country. What I don't like is if military and whoever's involved in government or whatever impeding our rights, torturing us in our homes, vibrating us, shocking us, burning us with direct energy weapons, stalking us, smearing our names, pumping voices in our head. That's what I don't like. So I'm not anti-American or anti-government, but I am anti-deep state, anti-whoever's in on this. I'm anti.
Yeah, I can definitely say that this current system, I am anti that.
Yeah.
I,
Oh,
I do
yeah.
not I do not support this current government, and
Mm-mm.
I think it needs to. I think it will be. Just like I have faith that this program will collapse. I think it will collapse along with unfortunately the whole system as far as economically, the economic system. Please, I think it's all going to collapse via some type of economic or war scenario.
And it's closer than we think.
Yeah, I have a feeling that something especially in the next 5 years or even sooner, something bad is going to happen. Again, I'm not a complete pessimist. Um, I do like to stay active myself, and I do have personal goals and stuff. But I hope that I'm wrong. Honestly, I hope that for the rest of my life, if I do have V2K the rest of my life, that it's not, I can go the rest of my life without some major catastrophe happening. So I'm not a pessimist. But you do have to be realistic. And it is looking like something is going to be happening here in the next 5 years.
Yeah, they just used they they just used my wife's voice to say y'all are both pessimist, and she
Yeah.
started laughing. That's just an example of V2K. I just now heard that, and I'm not ashamed to say I hear V2K because I know
No.
it's being pumped in my head. But yeah, that's an example of what I deal with.
Well, I don't think it's actually your wife. It's an
No,
audio.
it's her voice. It's a
Yeah.
morph. It's cloned. Her voice is cloned. I just like saying that because that's who it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, I agree with you. And so I'll give an example just to relate with you. Is I used to have this friend, his name was Huang, he was Vietnamese, and they always use his voice. Like yesterday, they were using his voice. Like, this is Long Huang. You're gonna pay for what you did to my family. And I've never done anything to this guy. I lived with him for when I was younger, and we used to hang out. But they always use his voice to make me think that it's him. But I
Yeah, it's
know,
a deadly game of lies and manipulation.
yeah. And so this is another thing is, um, unfortunately, I think, and this is may sound judgmental, but this is just the reality of the situation. This program, although there are people that are going through this program that have never used any drugs at all, and but they do like to pick on people that have used stimulants, um, like methamphetamine, cocaine. Um, I'm not an advocate of doing any drugs. I don't do any drugs currently, and I haven't for a long time. Um, but this program started happening to me when I was under the influence of drugs. And so I think what they do is they will pick on drug users because they're discredited. If you are using cocaine or methamphetamine or any other stimulant, and you go into a hospital and say people are following you and you're hearing voices, well, they're not going to listen to anything you're saying. They're going to say, okay, yeah, check, put them in a chair, send them off to the psych unit. They're not
Right.
even going to listen to anything you're saying because they've been propagandized through the DS or whatever school they went to. But yeah, I mean, I think the reason this program was specifically planned for you to sound like you're schizophrenic. So when you're on here and if somebody that's not targeted was listening to this interview, they'd be like, yeah, those guys are out there. But what's going on is that me and you know what's going on, and me and you are informed. It's not about being intelligent or not. It's about being informed, and me and you are informed of what's really going on in society. And unfortunately, the majority of the population, they don't know what's going on with radio frequencies and what the government's trying to do to its citizens right now. And they will find out, but unfortunately, they'll find out when it's too late and when it's in the hard way. Just like if you look at just like Nazi Germany and what Hitler was doing, when everybody got on board with actually knew what was happening, it was too late.
Right.
The infrastructure was already set up. They had already started exterminating the Jews, and everything. So it's just like any other catastrophe or when societies go full tyrannical, and people usually find out and start experiencing the detrimental effects from a tyrannical government, it's usually too late by then.
Can I
And
read
people,
something?
yeah, go ahead.
It says Zersetzung,
Mhm.
a German word that roughly translates to decomposition or disintegration. It was a covert psychological warfare tactic used by East German Ministry for State Security during the Cold War to repress political opponents and destroy the lives of people perceived to be enemies of the state. They
Yeah,
use Zetterzung to undermine all aspects of a person's life using a variety of methods of sabotage to damage their mental health. Perfect example of what's going on.
yeah. I mean, that describes it to a
And
T.
there's no coincidence that them Nazi scientists came over here during Nazi Germany, from Nazi Germany, and boom, now it's happening. I just think there's a correlation to that. Because,
Yeah, and
I
so
think they helped come up with some of the technology that's being used on us and all that.
yeah, and so I just want to say that that leads us into the question of why they're doing it. And so I just want to say that there are different theories on who's doing this, um, and why they're doing it. But I do believe I am in the targeted, although I don't agree with everything that targeted justice says or whatever their little quarrels with people. Um, but I am in contact with you know the people that are uh, on the board, I guess, are that second and third hand through Anna Toledo, people that are in contact with Anna Toledo, and I'm in the targeted justice school of thought as far as how they believe it's being perpetrated. And so I do believe that this is the intelligence agencies in the United States. This is government, or you can use the term deep state at the highest levels. And I think there is a objective of what they want to achieve. And I think what they want to do is, and I think they're almost close to doing it. And us being targeted are just experiments. They essentially want to hook everybody's brain up to some type of computer interface program, where they can essentially know what everybody's thinking and doing and location at all times. They want to be able to pipe voices, thoughts, ideas into somebody else's head, and pretty much have complete control of humanity. I believe this is their objective. And they do that via the FBI, law enforcement, judicial system. That's how the electronic harassment, that's what I'm calling it, although it is a lot more complicated than that. I'm talking about V2K, remote neural monitoring, is perpetrated. Now, I'm separating the program into two different things: the electronic harassment, V2K, remote neural monitoring, and then the gang stalking. So I think the gang stalking is kind of more of the FBI um, fusion center. That's their game. That's their side of the thing. I believe that, the V2K remote or not, I mean, there's people that are sitting in some remote location, in a room, that all that stuff's happening and something like that. That's what I think.
Right. Now, I
That's
don't
my
believe, targeted justice says there's one big list, but if you listen to Sabrina, she proved that there's many different lists that people are on. It's not just a Homeland Security terrorist watch list. There's more than that. You got people worldwide being targeted, and I think there's many different lists for many different kind of programs. You got wireless body area network. You got a bunch of different stuff going on at one time and different experiments going on, and so I don't think everybody that's a target is on the terrorist watch list. I just don't think that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more complicated than just one list. Like they bring up on a document and here's the list. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. But I'm just trying to give like a vague
the purpose though,
description. So,
depopulation or
well,
mind control, like you say, because
I was going to
they said
say,
by 2025 they want the population to be down to 500 million people. Well,
mm,
there's a lot of people in this world that's got to go for that.
so
For
I
their
was going to
goal.
finish saying that. So I believe that the electronic harassment is like intelligence, and then the FBI is like the gang stalk, and they've done it via the fusion centers. And so they the FBI works with the local law enforcement, government, city officials, EMS workers, and they contract all the gang stalking and get the civilian watch groups. I believe this is how the program is perpetrated. Now, what were you saying about, what was your question?
Oh no, I was just talking about the different lists and
Yeah, yeah.
no, but I really think it all correlates together with what you're saying, all correlates together into one program. Like I don't think, all right, the FBI is handling it. I think it's all done under, because gang stalk, everybody, well, every target I know still gets gang stalked, even though they're getting hit with weapons and stuff. Most people I've heard say they still get gang stalked. So you're saying you think the FBI correlates gang stalking and some other
Well,
agency correlates the rest of it?
well, let me give a specific example. Pretty much what I'm saying is this is my theory on it, and this is a theory, based on my experience and research. I think that the intelligence agencies handle the electronic harassment, and I'm including the V2K, directed energy weapon attacks, remote neural monitoring. That's obviously done in some remote location in some computer room, where I believe that there's people in intelligence working on that. I mean, it's not some guy wearing tie-dye Crocs, in a wife beater, standing like in a white van down the street with a microwave and a loudspeaker. That's what I used to think, and that's what I think they want you to believe. So it is the intelligence agencies perpetrating the electronic harassment. Now, the gang stalking, I believe, is more kind of FBI boots on the ground, fusion centers in cooperation with private entities. And I'll give a specific example. I believe they also will include real criminals and real criminal entities in on the gang stalking, like gangs, and people that are trying to escape prison sentences. Like, let's say you get caught with selling some type of a drug. Well, you're going to essentially be doing 40 years in prison or something. Well, the government's going to come to you and say, listen, this is off the record. We're going to wipe it clean. We're going to be monitoring 24/7, of course, but you can escape this prison sentence. Look, so we've been vetting you for the last year. We want you to participate in this new type of program. We're going to give you all your Greyhound tickets, your hotel stays. We're going to give you access to this new technology on this phone. We just want you to follow these list of people around. We'll give you all your assignments. This is how I believe they actually get real criminal entities to participate in the gang stalking. This is why you see, this is why when you're going in the Greyhounds, you get these people that'll come up next to you with sunglasses. And this is where I think all these people come from. I mean, these people are real criminals, but they are quite working in some type of government snitch program. I mean, they're doing everything that they shouldn't do according to the street code. the street code is not working with police. I mean, these people are working with the police.
I think there's a computer that runs some of the targeting too, and some of the algorithms of the targeting.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, this program's so complicated. I mean, we don't even have enough time to talk about how complicated it is. But yeah, I mean, I think all that is included with it. Like, I mean, I think when you're in the program, they're going to hook even the people that are doing the gang stalking. They are voluntarily hooked up to this. People call it a hive mind. But I've actually had my gang stalkers um, communicate with me via synthetic telepathy right next to me, and stuff. Before I knew what was actually going on, I actually used to think, um, I used to think that the cartel had a hit on me, all this fantastic stuff. Now I actually know it's actually real technology, and that most of the population in society doesn't know about it. So,
And the story just remembered, I got to tell you why I remember it. Remember when you was telling me about the library incident? These two nights in Ames, Iowa, at the library, which is right up the road from that little house I stayed at. These two Nigerian twins sat at the library, and then every time I would move, they moved, and then so I left. I freaked out, so they followed me out, and they split up and stalked me all around town. As long as I was walking and in fear, they were stalking me. That memory just popped up. It's crazy because you told me about that library stuff. Because some of this stuff is so traumatizing, we put it back, and the memories,
yes.
as I'm doing these interviews, memories come back of what happened. So it's kind of cool. Man, that was a scary time because these are big dudes and they're twins. They look exactly alike. And when I left the library, they left the library and they split up. And I'm like, oh gosh. So I'm walking and walking and walking, trying to dodge them. And everywhere I went, they were there. And it went on for about 2 hours. And I ended up catching a Greyhound out of that town.
Yeah, and I've been in that same library, and I've stayed at that same shelter
Yeah.
right
Did you
there.
get
That little,
hurt there?
not necessarily. Later on in Ames, I did.
That was a pretty peaceful place, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's kind of like a lot of the place I'm now. I'm in Manhattan, Kansas, and it's very similar. I think
Yeah.
Ames is a little bigger, but it's Manhattan, Kansas State University is right here in Ames. It's Iowa State. But I used to go to the chess club there, and it was actually not a bad. I was still getting the V2K the whole time I was there. Actually worked at that little McDonald's around the corner from the.
Yeah, right around the corner. There's a Burger
Yeah.
King and McDonald's. Yeah.
Yeah, I worked there at that little
Okay.
McDonald's for a short amount of time, so I know exactly what you're talking about. But they did get the people from Des Moines that would come up to do the perping and stuff. And with me later on, I actually left and went back to Ames, and they started perping. They started targeting me really heavy, but it was more of like the Freemasonic, like good old boy, like cowboy hat, boot wearing people.
Yeah.
Like
I had the same experience as you and Ames because, at first when I was in that house, I got them to extend my thing for 2 more weeks, and then that's when the stalking really started really bad back on me. But I was getting perked every now and then, especially at the library, I would get perked. But the halfway house was pretty chill at first, or whatever you call it, homeless shelter, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a problem with the AC unit when I was there, so I had to put a fan. But
was you in the
yeah,
basement or upstairs?
I was upstairs.
Yeah, that's where I was.
Yeah. And so this is another thing I want to talk about is there's a lot of targets that believe I've heard them say that this is this is all went rogue and it's all just private people doing this. I've heard other targets say that this is all ghosts. These are all ghosts and goblins and demonic entities doing it. And so what I'm going to say is I do believe that, yeah, this program has gone rogue. I do believe that there's specific people that used to have clearances or currently have clearances that say work for private investigation groups, or let's say Google hires these elite PI groups to do the stalking. But I just want to make this point. This point is coming from years of being targeted. Think about how classified and secret that this program is. And the evidence of that is that most people in society don't know about this program or this technology. And so do you think that they're going to give this technology to just any Joe Schmo or just any criminal off the street? No, because they want this to be classified and very secret. This is very hush hush. They don't want this technology getting out. And so they wouldn't give this technology to some dude in a van down the street, some half-baked dude who takes rips off his bong and then freaking has you on a remote neural monitor. No, these are people with very high clearances. These are intelligent people with an agenda that work with the government, are directly for the government. They're not going to give this technology people access to this technology for some half-baked IT student that lives on the East Coast. Why are they not going to, why are they not going to give it to that person? Well, because they know that person's going to roll on. They're not going to give this.
Yeah, they're going to run their mouth.
Yeah, they're not going to give this technology. If you have access to technology like this, you are vetted for years. They are not just going to give this technology, just like the people in the mafia. They didn't just let you into the mafia. I mean, they had to vet you for years. They had to make sure you're not going to snitch. They have to know 100% that you are not going to snitch and that you are vetted. I mean, they're not just going to get, I mean, this program has been going on for years and it's still classified in secret. They're not just going to give this technology to, your ex-husband or your ex-wife or your landlord. They want you to think that it's your landlord talking to you, or it's like your ex-girlfriend talking to you. They're not going to give your ex-girlfriend back clearance to this type of technology. I mean, that's insane. I mean, think about it. And so this is kind of like my rebuttal to people that think it's like some dude in a van with a microwave and a loudspeaker that's like, wearing tie-dye Crocs and taking rips off his mom. No, they would never let somebody like that to have access, have clearance to this type of technology.
Now they are in on the smear campaigns and the gang stalk and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the gang stalking.
I agree. They're not going to. Now, I think, some people say that, there are something called, I forgot what it was called, but, it's called misdirection. What they'll do is, your neighbor will come home at 5 o'clock every day from work and then they'll start hitting you. Well, you think it's your neighbor because they start every time he pulls up and comes home, they start hitting you, but really it's not your neighbor. It's the people, people behind the scenes doing it, but they're making you think it's your neighbor because every time he shows up at 5 o'clock or wherever when he gets to work, you start getting hit.
Yeah. They've done that with me too. And that's another thing I kind of wanted to bring up. I'm glad you brought it up, is that they will get your neighbors in on the gang stalking. And the people that are doing the gang stalking, these are what's the term, useful idiots. Most of these people that are doing the boots on the ground gang stalking, the flashing the lights, the breaking the enterings, the slander campaigns, these people don't really know what's going on. These people think that you're some type of, they've been told some lie about you, or they're some type of do-gooder, the type of person that, have you ever been like
I want to be vigilante?
Well, the type of person like the ex-cop who's retired or the ex-military who's concerned about how high your grass is in your lawn. You ever meet these type of people that wants to come over and say, hey, you need to cut your grass? Somebody that just needs to mind his own business. But they love these people because they're not that intelligent and they can get them to do these gang stalking programs. The type of people that sits on the community watch board, PTA boards, these type of unintelligible dupes. The government, these are the people that are used
that want to feel like they belong and fit in.
Yeah, and so they have to do that when really they're inwardly hateful people and just want to see other people fail. So they love these people because they'll believe anything they're told about anybody. And so they use these people to do the gang stalking. Now, they will. So back to our conversation, they will get your neighbors involved on it. Now, with electronic harassment, what they've done with me is that they commonly, and what they're doing with other people is they want to make it seem like it's your upstairs neighbor or it's your next door neighbor, and they'll use the V2K and electronic. I call it directional V2K. It's like the other day they made it sound like somebody was knocking on my window, and they'll do that with what you're talking about with the misdirection. And so every time, like for instance, like my back. In the back, I have a next door neighbor in a house who will come out to the porch. They'll start hitting me with the V2K, making it sound like it's them. So they want me to make it sound like long story short, they want you to make it think like it's your landlord, it's your ex-husband, your ex-wife, your current girlfriend, it's your mom, it's your dad. it's your upstairs neighbor. Because what they want you to do is your whole goal is to make you appear like you are nuts, like you need some type of mental health evaluation. They want to get you locked up. They want to ruin your life. And so they will do that by using multiple different techniques.
Right.
And so that's one of them.
But
So,
just think about it. And it makes you think, what if somebody came up to you and said, Andrew, this dude that just moved in with you, and then they showed you paperwork and everything. Oh yeah, he molested his 3-year-old daughter, and he beat the case, and he's next door to you, and here's paperwork, because they'll print paperwork. They'll make it look good. You know, and you're a man just like I am, so I ain't gonna lie. It would make me kind of be like, a baby raper, man. I'm gonna have to mess with him. You know what I'm saying? And even me, if I was presented with something like that, would even start looking like. But now that I know what's going on with this program, I would probably fact check it first, 100%. Now that I know. But back in the day, if you came to me with something, you know, I might have been like, "Oh, that child rape. Oh yeah, well, you know."
Yeah, and so this is piggybacking off of my point. Is yes, 100%, and I've seen them do this with me. This is why the people that do the gang stalking, they cannot be very intelligent. I mean, these people don't have any integrity. Because let me tell you what I would do if that happened to me. Because I'm a man, and so here's what I would do is I would say, "Oh, really? Okay." And so what I would do is I would go to that person's face, and I'd say, "Hey, listen here, homeboy. I got somebody coming to my door with these papers. Is it true or is it not?"
That's the right thing to do.
Because that's what a man would do, and that's what a person of intellect would do, and somebody who's intelligent. But they don't pick people to do the gang stalking that are intelligent or don't have any integrity. That's why a lot of these people are on drugs, criminals, lowlifes that do the gang stalking, because they're just pieces of shit. I mean, I hate to say it. These people have zero talent, aren't good at anything, have nothing going on in their life. And so they're hateful people, and they hate other people, and they're the type of people that want to see people fail. And the government picks these people specifically to do the gang stalking because they know that they're not going to go to somebody's face. They know that they can just go to their house and print up fake documents and say, "Hey, look, we heard this guy was a sex offender, or this guy was a terrorist, or he's a known sex trafficker." I don't know. Just they'll make up any type of lie about you to anybody in the community, and they go to people specifically that have no integrity and are not that intelligent and not that smart. That's because they know they're not man enough to go to somebody's face.
Yeah, that dude on Bourbon Street that one time, I don't know if you heard that story, but the dude came up to me and he said, effing child molester. I said, "Dude, come here." He said, "No." I said, "No, come here, or I'm going to come to you." And I walked to him and I said, "Look, I will pay. I got money. I had money on a card. I was drawing unemployment. You know, I just lost my job because of targeting. So, and I'd had a lawsuit on the company, which is one reason I said, look, I got a card right here. I said, I want you to sit here and we're going to look my record up. I'm going to pay on this smartphone to look my record up. And you can see that what they're saying is not true. And if you don't want to hear it, you need to get the F out of my face." And he got out of my face. I was going to actually pull my record up and show him, just to show him, look, you're being fooled, because they were telling it on Bourbon Street, where all this busy street. And I had people looking at me weird. And I told him, "Get out of my face then, dude, if you don't want to see it." Huh.
Yeah, see that to me, I'm just going to use this type of lingo. That's punk shit. That's punk shit. Like if somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, guess what, man? If I was staying in a shelter or something, and I was like, man, that dude's over there is a sex offender." Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over there and be like, "Hey, homeboy, guess what I heard? Somebody told me that is this true or not?"
Right.
And so I'm going to, like a man, I'm going to come up to you and be like, "Listen, I'm just telling you, I'm not coming up to you."
And you'll give him the opportunity to pull his record up and show you, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I'd be like, "Listen, this is what I heard. This is what I heard. I just want to know if it's true." And then that's when you would say, "Hell no, that's not true. Who's saying that about me?" And I'm like, "Well, that person over there is saying that about you." I mean, that's what I'm saying. These are punks. These aren't people that aren't. These aren't men. A man comes. If I hear something about my neighbor over here next door, like
you go to the neighbor.
I'm gonna knock on their door. I'm like, "Hey, listen, man, I just heard that you doing some weird shit over here next to my house."
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Is this true? That's what a person of integrity does, and we're not dealing with people of integrity. I mean, these are people of liars, unintelligible people, no integrity. I mean, it's just that's the people we're dealing with. And why I'm on this subject, I want to say this. I'm not scared of these people because these people are right up there with rapists, pedophiles, sex offenders. These are the people we're dealing with. They are in that camp of people. When these people get prosecuted and locked up eventually, they deserve to be locked up with those people. And the reason I say that is because they monitor and torture people in their privatest of moments, in their most private moments. They've messed with me when I was with another female, or I hate to be, but they know what type of porn you like, or they know your set. I mean, these are all sexual. These are sexual predator type. This is sexual predator type of behavior.
Yeah,
So
and they
now,
get off on the voyeurism.
so I'll give an example. If I got caught putting secret cameras up in my next door neighbor's house and filmed them while they were doing whatever or while they were watching porn, and I got caught for it, they would put that would be a sex offense,
Right.
and I would have to register as a sex. I would go do prison. But when they do it, they're not getting caught for it. So to me, I look at these. I'm not scared of these people because I consider them on the same level as like a sex predator. And so whatever they say about me goes in one ear through the V2K. It goes in one ear and in the next. Because to me, if they ever disclose themselves to me ever in their life, if somebody ever comes up to me and says, "Hey, I'm in the program. We wanted to make contact with you," I'm going to be like, I'm going to look at you like a sex predator.
Right.
So, I mean,
And
these people.
I think it's probably that Bible verse you mentioned. That's a good time to discuss that too, because fear will set a snare for you, set a trap for you. Fear will set you up for you. You got to try not to walk in fear. And people think, well, you're agoraphobic. You stay in a house because you're. Well, I do have panic attacks, and I do freak out outside when I'm around people. But there's more to it. It's how I might go to prison if I leave the house. I don't tolerate this stuff no more. I have a short temper. So until I can learn how to manage that or learn how to go outside without having a panic attack, because I'm the type that likes confronting my problems, and it gets me in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's best for you. Me personally, I spent when this first started happening to me, I spent years. I would lock myself up in my. I would stay with my dad from time to time or wherever place I was living, and I would just be locked up in the place I was. I was scared to go to the store because every time I went somewhere to the bank, they had these people that would follow me and come in and do the all the tricks, and it scared me. Not because I was scared of one individual, but because I honestly thought that somebody had some type of hit on my head or something, because I didn't know what was actually going on. But I made a decision that I'm not gonna, let these people stop me. I mean, I play chess competitively. I'm going to church. I take a walk every morning,
I
and
wish
so
I
I
could
don't.
play a game of chess with you. I love chess.
Yeah, well, we can online, but the point is that is I'm not letting these people. If they want to hit me with a V2K and vibrate my legs, vibrate my private parts, I'm still gonna go out here and do what I need to do.
Right.
I'm whatever. I'm gonna try to live the best life that I possibly can, and that's what I suggest to people. Is whatever you're doing, just stay active. Don't let these people. Don't be like looking at gang stalking videos all day. Be on the conference calls all day. I mean, yeah, I do that too. I get on. But it's just not. It's not consuming all encompassing what I'm doing. Um, so if you want, I can read that verse in the Bible if you're.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's kind of out of context, and it's just from Proverbs 25 or Proverbs 30:25. Uh, the fear of a man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall be safe. So I was reading that the other day, and I just kind of applied that to my life. And like I said, these people are predators and rapists, as far as I'm concerned. These people are the type of people that like to torture people in their basement. We're
Right.
dealing with these type of people. I'm not going to be scared of them. Why would I fear a man that's on that level? I mean, and if that's going to be a snare in my life, if I fear a man who's gang stalking me, if there's a man that's staring at me with a group, I'm not going to be scared of them. I can't let them have fear. I can't be fearful of them in my heart because that's just going to be a snare in my life, you know?
So you think this is a, well, let me ask you another question. What what do you think would have to happen in this TI community? As crazy as this TI community is, and I'm not talking about, I'm not calling TIs crazy. I'm just saying just the crazy stuff that goes on and how we can never all come together and stuff. What do you think would have to happen for us to come together? Because you know, you got people saying this person's a perp. Then you even got people who I'm the most tortured TI out there, you know, and it's just, and I'm not putting nobody down that talks about their torture. I'm just saying this ain't a competition. We're all equal, in my opinion. I'm no better than nobody. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm no better than you just because I have a YouTube channel exposing it. I have opportunity to do it. I'm taking advantage of opportunity, but I'm no different than no any other target individual, no better or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I just wonder what you think has to happen for us to just, man, get along and all come together as a group. Or do you think that's possible?
I think it's important too to believe that we are dealing with people, even though we are all targeted, but we're dealing with people, other humans. And so in a group of humans, there's going to be people that lie. There's going to be people that, just because you're targeted doesn't mean you're not a liar. I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about other people.
Right.
Just because you're targeted doesn't mean you're somebody who is delusional. You're not somebody who's delusional. I mean, this program causes trauma and it causes people to be delusional. And so, to, answer, to answer a question, like is to not be too long winded, it's going to be really hard to get a group of people that are traumatized to get along. And I'll give a specific example. I've been getting on this call um, for the last couple months. I won't mention the call specifically, but it's this late night call. And I get on there, and I'm not perfect, and sometimes I've had a few drinks or whatever, um, but I've always been cordial with everybody, and I've never really said anything directly attacking anyone. And uh, I got on there, and then all of a sudden, like they've all shunned me for some reason, and they all like have like called me a perp and stuff. And I just get on there, and I have the same level of conversation we're having now. And so I don't think that I come off as like somebody trying to attack somebody or trying not to be polite. I mean, and they all like they were all like essentially trying to like bully me off this call, which I think is kind of funny because these people are like on conference calls all day.
Herd mentality.
Yeah, it's like that's all they got going on in their life or something. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, I don't think I'm better than somebody, but I mean, I'm trying to do other things. I mean, I'm not just like on conference calls, like just gatekeeping a conference call. I mean, and so to me, I just did my part in it. I said, hey, I don't wish any ill will. And so I cleaned up my side of the street. That's all I can do. But to answer, go back to your question, it's going to be really hard. And ultimately, I think targeted justice, without, there is a bunch of people have their own views on it, but they're having a TI day. I think it's in August or something, where they're going to Colorado Springs, which is the home of Schriever Air Force Base. I'm not going to be able to attend it, but I think ultimately what's going to stop this program is not going to be us coming together. It's going to implode on itself, because these people, obviously we know they don't have any integrity, and they can be bought and sold. Because I think this program, at the end of the day, these people that are doing this program are doing it for profit, for the profit of the department, or from some other motivation. I think it's mainly profit. It's, to grow the department or to grow whatever entity they're working for. And so these people can be bought and sold. So I think eventually there's going to be, these people are going to, the expression, if you give somebody enough rope, they'll hang themselves.
Right. Back to targeted justice and stuff. The reason I don't endorse or talk about none of them groups on my show is if I end up homeless today, if I can't call one of them groups like that and say I'm homeless, can you help me out? And they not jump and help me out. I don't want to do. I want to see a group show up for target individuals that say they're working for them and will give them a place to stay or help them out, or you know what I'm saying? when that's the, and I hope that group pops up, and I wish I had the power to form it, because I would, because there's a lot of homeless target individuals that just want a place to stay or need a place to stay, who's running the streets, getting gang, like me. When I get gang stalked, I don't stop walking. Like, I'll walk, I might sit down for 10 minutes, but I keep walking and keep moving, because I think it's some plot to kidnap me and have me, it just, that's what they put in my mind and mind control me, especially if I've walked for days and hadn't had no sleep. So, I would love to see a nonprofit come out that, or if I'm in trouble, I can call and they'll actually help me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking bad about targeted justice or any of them. I'm just saying, if I called them right now and told them my situation, told them I was home, well, I'm not homeless. I'm just saying, if I felt homeless and called them, I know people who have called them and other people and done the same thing and got turned away and told, look, we don't handle that kind of stuff. And they were very rude. And I'm like, man, really? Man, we need somebody that's going to help and raise money. And they say there's a target individual community or place where you can go in California right now. I think it's $1,000 a month. Who targeted can afford that? They say
I mean,
there's spa there and all kinds of stuff.
when you're really in on it, like I've been homeless, strung out on drugs, just in getting targeted, like people, gangs threaten me, like Serranos and stuff, and I've had whole towns
Yeah.
find me. Just, I mean, I've been completely hopeless, and like I definitely didn't have any money to go to $1,000 commune in California. I mean,
Yeah,
if you're
somebody said, hey, man, somebody contacted me on Facebook. Hey, there's a halfway house for target individuals now. I
yeah,
said, yeah, give me details. Well, it's 1,000. And I was like, right there, I'm like, man, what target individual could, and there are some target, like I know a doctor and I'm good friends with him, and he sent me proof after proof of the targeting going on. And he's a millionaire and he's a Muslim. And uh, he moved from Las Vegas to Dubai, and he's still getting targeted heavily. So there are some target individuals that have money, but I'm just saying, for the most part, target individuals can't afford that.
yeah, that's what I've noticed. Most people that are targeted are people they specifically, like I talked about before, they target people that a lot of people that are on drugs. They target a lot of single women, just people that don't. It's no coincidence that most people that are targeted are people that have. Yeah, it's either two things. Um, when I get on calls, a lot of times they'll blast me with the radio frequencies and they'll vibrate my legs, and it'll mess with my thinking. And so I think some people can handle it better than others. So,
Right.
and so they'll accuse people of being perps, or they'll get delusional and think somebody's this when they're not.
Which,
Um,
that's another tactic of the program, is to keep us divided.
yeah, or they're, and I've actually had my perps come in on the conference call. Like I'll give a specific example. I've had a perps come in on the conference call and then talk about me playing chess. Now, who would know that I play chess?
Yeah.
Who would get on a call at the same specific time that I got on the call and talk about what I
Yeah,
do?
me and Holly were looking at eBay while we were on a call one time, and I swear, as soon as we got on eBay, this person starts saying, well, eBay got caught for gang stalking and all kinds of stuff. And we had just hit eBay. It just showed up when they mentioned it. It's some crazy stuff in this world we live in, man.
So I think ultimately we were talking about, do you think we're going to get together? I think it's going to be really hard for us to get together. I think if we do, it's going to be in specific groups. Like, I know you're a real
Yeah,
target.
I know you're real. Yeah.
And so stuff like this, so we can get a group of other people that, we know, just because I can tell just talking to somebody if they're real or not. And I get to people like, do you get V2K? And then I'm like, oh, I kind of do. I don't really know. And it's like, well, no, if you have V2K, like
Yeah.
this isn't like, oh, I think I do. No, it's like, this isn't a game. I mean, this isn't some type of game thing. I mean, this is what I'm dealing.
And some
I
people
feel,
think, because some people's V2K is their subconscious. They use their
yeah,
subconscious talking. Like, it's not audible voices. V2K can be mind control, suggestive thoughts, uh,
yeah.
smoke, 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 smoke. Like, they done that. My girlfriend, she used to hate smoking. Matter of fact, she wouldn't even come in her mom's house because it smelled like smoke. Well, one day she kept hearing smoke, 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 and bought a pack of cigarettes, and she smokes now. And every time she tries to quit, her V2K smoke, smoke, smoke. But it's not audible. It's just suggestions over and over and over in her head. See, some people think V2K is just audible voices, but it can be a numerous things. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about, don't you? Yeah.
yeah, I know exactly where they can interject thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's not, I wouldn't consider that V2K. I think that's, like I said, it's more
Well, remote
complicated.
neural monitoring, kind
Yeah.
of.
I mean, it's very complicated. I like to, I mean, on the calls, I'll try to be as vague or as explanatory and vague as possible because, like I separate the program between electronic harassment and gang stalking. Because I mean, we could talk. We don't have enough hours in the day to talk about how the gang stalking is delegated into like the watch groups. I mean, we'd have to do like a 15-hour talk to like to cover
Right.
all to cover all
And
my
there's so much
yeah,
sensitization, like,
yeah.
well, like license. Well, I'm gonna ignore the license plate, but like when you're targeting first starts, they might sensitize you to a certain person wearing a red shirt. They might sensitize you to somebody coughing, and all these sensitizations in a group of people. Somebody's going to do one of them things, so somebody's going to be considered a perp. You see what I'm saying? Out of a TI community. So they sensitize us to all this stuff. So it's nearly impossible for all of us to come together because of our sensitivities to stuff.
Yeah, and like I don't want to sound judgmental, but I think there are some people that are just, I don't think anybody's better than anybody else innately, but there are some people that are just stronger in the head than others.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so, unfortunately, I've seen people like women that are strung out on drugs, and it's not just women, guys that just that are just down and out, and then they hit them with this technology, and then they just can't handle it. And it's, to me, those are the people that get on the calls and they're like, oh my God. I mean, and it's just like you have to explain to them, like, listen, calm down. First of all, calm down. Your upstairs neighbor is not gonna try to kill you. You're trying to, you know, and you try to talk them through, and then you can't talk. And I mean, some people just can't handle the technology. It's um, the biggest thing
It's really sad.
yeah, and it really is because they are legitimately getting victimized. And that's kind of like I want to say something else on this show here. Is that the mental health narrative? Um, and we were talking about the ending of the program if it does end. When this program is ended, and when and if it does get ended, I think it will. I mean, think about what that's going to mean. We've been told this mental health narrative our whole lives that people have schizophrenia, people are bipolar, people have PTSD, ADHD, ADD. And I'm not saying mental health disorders don't exist. I do think that there are chemical imbalances that happen organically in humans. And I do believe that trauma can affect somebody's psychological well being. Um, but I think that the mental health narrative is just completely overused, and it's just we're sold this false narrative. Essentially, that's essentially what I'm trying to say. There's a false narrative, a mental health narrative. And so if this program ever does get exposed, think about what that's going to mean. Think of how many people that are getting hit with this technology that don't know they're getting hit with this technology, and they actually think, well, no, I'm just bipolar. I think that I woke up and thought that I was a girl, or I identify as like a cat or something. I don't know. Just all this stuff that's going on that I believe is a direct result of this technology that people, and then you have the people that you have the active shooters. I think most of the active shooters are people that are people getting hit with this technology. I also think that most people that just get diagnosed out of the blue with some type of disorder are people that are getting hit with this technology. And so what I'm trying to say is that it's going to mean a complete dismantling of our society. I mean, how much culture, movies, I mean,
And how much are people traumatized?
the whole field of psychology and the whole field of psychiatry would completely be turned upside down when this program gets exposed. Think of how many millions and millions, billions of dollars of the pharmaceutical industry that was all done for nothing.
And how many people would be so traumatized that
Yeah.
even if they was told the program ended, they still found themselves being stalked or thinking stuff was going on because you're traumatized. You're used to it. That's scary too.
I'm just talking about, yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm just talking about the whole field of psychiatry.
Oh yeah.
That would mean that it was all false.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to let that happen. I mean, it's like, I mean, you have people that are supposedly smart people, people with doctorates, people that have went to school for years and studied medicine for years, people, doctors, and that's educated people, supposedly, whatever that means, that I've sat in front of and I've told them and gave evidence, and gave them patents, showed them patents about this technology, and it just went in one ear and out the next. And they told me that I had some type of delusional disorder, and I needed medication. And so these are people with doctorates.
Yeah, I actually have to see a psychologist. So
Yeah.
I tell them about my remote. I've tried to show them all that stuff and they don't want to listen to me either.
Yeah, these are people that are quote unquote intelligent or smart people. The
Yeah.
doctor.
And you ever heard of remote neural monitoring? No, David. No, I have not heard of remote neural monitoring. Have you ever heard of V2K? No, you're hearing voices. You're schizophrenic, David.
Yeah.
There's nobody pumping voices in your head. Okay, whatever. Huh.
Yes. So that's another thing is I think it's crazy that and you kind of got to laugh about it, although it's not funny. I mean, there's nothing funny about it, but sometimes I just laugh because it's like, you know what? This is like the ultimate gaslighting. I mean, it's like there's something legitimately going on that I know is going on. And all these people that are supposedly really smart people don't know what's going on. And I'm actually telling them the truth, and you're trying to tell them what's going on, and they just won't listen to you. So we're at this time in society where it's like, yes, we all have supercomputers in our pockets. I'm able to do all technology. There's all this technology. I can press a button, have a car come pick me up. I can do everything. I can order everything from my phone. I mean, we have all these technological advancements in society, but we haven't made very much progress philosophically or as a whole as humanity. We are still back in the medieval dark ages when it comes to just philosophic thought. And as far as humanity goes, we still believe in rulers, a ruling class of people. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. They both believe that there should be people that rule over us and dictate over us. We haven't really made much progress. We're still in the caveman. We're still in Neanderthals. I mean, we still are tribalists. We gang up on each other and we want to dominate. There's people that want to rule and dominate over other people. And so it's sometimes you just gotta laugh. It's like, it's just the ultimate gaslighting. You have these people that go to school for years, are supposed to be intelligent, and everything they advocate and their whole way of life, their whole practice is false. Like all of psychiatry, almost I think 98% of psychiatry is false. I think it's fake. I really do.
Right. I was trying to see that chapter in that Behold a Pale Horse. There's a chapter in it that talks about how what you were talking about, how people need a government to rule them or whatever. It's some kind of theory or something. The in the womb syndrome, where you're looking for adults and stuff to run your life and tell you what to do and all that. I forgot what he called it. It was in Behold a Pale Horse, which is a good book, by the way.
Okay. My dad actually, I think, recommended that book to me. So it's
Yeah,
interesting.
I forgot the name of it. I mean, but he explains the in the womb theory, where you're dependent on everything, everybody to make decisions for you, your parents and stuff like that. It was a
Yeah,
good theory. I think I read it in one of my videos, matter of fact. But yeah, yeah, we're still dependent on all that. And now we got rulers and government that are making bad decisions for us and don't have nothing, don't seem like they have anything good for us in mind.
yeah, and I think that's something that I would advise. Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that's something I would advise all people that are targeted is, because you get these people that come on these calls and stuff like, oh, we just need to get Trump in office, and we need to get Biden or we need to get Biden in office and Trump out of office, or and it's like I think I would advise targets to really start thinking about why this program is happening, and that's kind of why I want to talk to you guys. Or I wanted to conclude that
Yeah, we need to get into the why of it.
the origins of this program and why it's happening and who's doing it. It is ultimately the highest level of government. This is very classified. They're not just giving this technology out to some idiot. These are very smart people that are in control and that want to control you. There's a main objective. And so what is the solution to that? Well, we need to get rid of the ruling class. We as humans, we need to realize that there is a ruling class of people. We don't need people to rule over us and dictate us and tell us how to live our lives, tell us how fast we can drive on a road, tell us where and when and where we can't go, tell us that we need to wear a mask, or we are herd mentality right now. We need to progress as far as humanity. And I would actually recommend there's a free audio book if you can't get the book. There's a guy named Larken Rose.
Uh-huh.
That's LarkenRose, and it's called the Most Dangerous Superstition. There's a book that I'm kind of going through right now. I would recommend targets to kind of start looking at a solution as far as what the ideal government would be, because this is bigger than just we need to elect the right officials. No, the
Did you say the most dangerous superstition?
yeah,
I'm
by
putting it in
Larkin.
my, okay.
There's a free audio book on YouTube that you can listen to.
Okay.
It should come right up. The Most Dangerous Superstition by Larkin Rose. And I think I encourage all people that are targeted to actually look for a solution in an ideal government and what that would look like, and actually realize that what's going on is the fruits of a government that's gone out of control. We are in trouble as far as humanity goes. I mean, we have a tyrannical dictatorship emerging right in front of our eyes, to the likes that humanity has never seen before because of technology. I mean, this is worse than Hitler and the Jews in concentration camps, because what's going on now is they're so advanced in technology that most of society doesn't even realize it's going on. They think that people are going schizophrenic, or he just all of a sudden started hearing voices, and so he just shot up a school, or he shot up a naval yard, or he went and shot up a campus. And people are so propagandized that they don't actually know what's going on. Meanwhile, they shut down society for 2 years. They put up all these 5G towers everywhere, and they've told you that it's to make your cell phone better. And they just believed it. Yeah, they put up 5G towers. It's to make your cell phone stronger. That's why they put up 5G towers in every single neighborhood across the whole world.
It was just as fast on 4G, in my opinion.
And they did that in 2 years. They put up 5G towers in every single neighborhood all across the whole world.
And if you go up to a 5G tower, it says may cause sickness, death, and all kinds of stuff. There's a sticker on the tower. And I had a picture of a sticker. If I could share the screen, I would. But I don't know where it's at in my picture, so I'd be looking forever.
I've seen it, yeah. Not your picture, but I've seen it.
And there's schools even shielding from 5G right now. There's some schools are trying to shield from it. That's been in Newsweek and everything. But it's not dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
and you got HARPs involved, and they got it. I heard Harp's got Gwen tires ever so many miles, and it's all connected on one big underground. It creates a wave of energy, a ground-based wave of energy that connects. And these tires are all around America and other places, just far enough apart to connect to the next tire, to shoot it to the next tire, and it blankets the ground. I've been reading a lot about that. I forgot the Angels Don't Play This Harp was a book I've got. It's a pretty good book.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I've listened to some interview on Art
You
Bell.
probably did. Yeah.
I think you posted it. I think you actually posted it. It was like an Art Bell interview with this guy
Yeah,
that used
probably did. Yeah.
yeah, that was a good one.
What's the name of his talk not talk shoe? That's TI stuff, but at night.
Coast to Coast, I think it
Yeah,
was.
Coast to Coast AM. I used to listen
I
to
think
that all the time.
yeah, and so it's but what I was saying is that yeah, I mean people are just have their head in the sand. I'm not going to say like everybody's stupid or everybody's dumb. No, I mean, but people are propagandized, are so propagandized and complacent that they don't actually understand what's going on right in front of them. I mean, they shut down society for 2 years. And then in that 2 years, they've set up top 5G frequency towers in every single neighborhood all across the globe.
While everybody was made to stay inside.
And you think, and not you, but and people think that, oh, that's just normal. They're just trying to make the cell phone strong. Like I think about that. They've shut down society for 2 years, and they have these frequency towers in every single neighborhood, everywhere. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And people just like, oh, that's just conspiracy theory. You're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
It's like, are you serious? Like, do you actually realize what just happened? Like, I don't, it's just people are so complacent and just.
And they're saying the human body will power 6G. They're trying to make the human body be the thing that all of us humans collective as the thing that powers 6G. I don't know if we're going to be antennas for 6G. Is that not crazy?
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of research on it, but I've heard stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
mean, I think I think I'm an antenna now. So
Yeah.
I don't know all
I
this.
think some of us are antennas, but they plan on rolling it out on everybody. And I think
Yeah.
that's why they're talking about 6G. I think 6G is probably already here. We just haven't been told about it yet.
Oh, I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff. I'm pretty sure there's like whole cities that are underground.
But back to the why, you said you think it's so they can thought police everybody. But and I think that's a lot of it. But what about the people who get burnt and tortured every day with weapons? And do you think that's part of the thought police stuff to capture thoughts and see if they can read the thoughts while they're torturing somebody? Or
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think this is done for multiple reasons. I'm pretty sure that like our data, we're being data mined, and our reactions are being sold to people that are scientists and engineers that are creating. I mean, there's a reason for all of it. At the end of the day, I think that there's multiple reasons why we're put on this program, and then our reactions are sold, and we're pretty much an experiment. Because there's a reason that they're not targeting everybody as
right.
heavy as we are, is because they want to see how we're going to act or what this technology will do
When they roll it out on everybody. So they're
yeah.
Wow. That's a good
That's
point.
that's what I think, and it's all done in the name of national security. And because we have to keep the society safe by killing people.
Are you currently working?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's good, man.
I usually work in restaurants, but I've just now decided to get out of the restaurant industry because of my joints and stuff are. I don't know how long I'm going to last. I might have
Were
some.
you doing construction?
No, I was working in kitchens.
No, I'm talking about right now.
Oh no, I decided to go into retail.
Oh, selling stuff? Trying to?
Just more like cashiering and like
Oh,
just
okay.
retail. Just because
cool.
I don't. It doesn't have as much wear and tear on your body.
Right.
So I'm trying to think long term, even though I don't know what's going to happen in society. So that's what I suggest with people that are targeted. I mean, some people aren't able to work, but keep yourself active, because I think I am getting hit all 24/7, but some days are better than next, and I actually have good days, and I believe it's because I'm so active. Because I wake up every morning, I take a walk, and I have a regimen. I play chess. I'm reading books.
Multitasking helps break brain entrainment. It's been proven. Yeah.
Yeah, set goals for yourself, no matter how small or large they are. Like your goal today is to read a paragraph out of the Bible, or your goal today is to get involved with you know, uh, a gaming group, or
Yeah. They want you to have a defeated mentality and not do nothing. Yeah.
yeah, and that's what I suggest with people, and I think that's a good idea, like some type of hotline you can call for TIs. I thought about doing that because I think maybe me and you have a lot of experience, or we could help a lot of people that are
Yeah.
getting
We could just like,
like,
not
hey,
if we had the funding, you know what I'm saying?
we're not even, I'm not,
Like a house in Ames. Well, look, if
yeah,
you can make it to this house, we can let you stay such and such, get back on your feet. You know what I'm saying? Like a TI house, kind of like the one in Ames. I like the way it's ran in Ames. It's like a regular house. You feel
yeah,
normal. You don't feel like no man.
yeah. But I was even just a hotline, because like I've been almost to every single city, and like if there's a TI, like say in Denver, I could tell him exactly what he needs to do. Like, look, I'm in Longmont. They're hitting me hard. I can tell him exactly what to do. I could be like, yo, go here, take your free bus down to Boulder, go into this hospital, ask them, they're probably gonna be gang stalking you in the hospital, ignore it. Tell them that you need a Greyhound ticket. This place will give you a Greyhound ticket here. I could
Right.
I could I could tell them like exactly, like me and you, like we know about names. I could be like, okay, the library's over there. Now what you're going to want to do is get on this bus. You know what I mean? I could tell them
Yeah.
exactly what to do. Go to St. Mary's. St. Mary's will put you in this unit, and they'll get you a free bus ticket. I mean, I could, and so even something like that, like a of people, like real targets, like real people that are TIs that
With
know,
funding
like,
to where we could tell them where to go and have a place to stay. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
wish it could come, man, but I don't think we'll ever find the funding for that type stuff, but
And,
that
and
would be neat.
I mean, you would need a ridiculous amount of funding,
Yeah.
and then on top of it, the perps would infiltrate it, and it would just be
Yeah.
it would be almost impossible. I hate to say it, but it wouldn't be impossible to just give people advice, like a
Have
hotline.
you have you ever heard anybody going to that RV park on PAX International? The one in Texas?
I don't even think I've heard about that.
Oh, it's on PAX International anyway. I've just wondered. It's Carl's RV park. It's supposed to be an RV park for TIs. I was just wondering if you've ever heard of anybody going there.
Oh,
It's in a
really? It's
remote location in Texas. It's on the PAX International website. If you go to like what
really?
you call it, the ads. I tried to send somebody there and they emailed him but I think you got to pitch in and then you got to pay like $350 a month, which ain't too bad. And it's supposed to be way out in the country and it's for TIs. And I've
It's-
never heard of nobody going there.
yeah, I'm on their website right now.
Do you see it? You got to go to like want ads, wanted, help wanted, not, or I forgot where it's at. Let me see if I can find it. Or roommates wanted.
Yeah, I guess I can look at it later. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll look at it. But that's pretty interesting. I mean, that's actually not a bad idea. I do have stuff going on where I'm at.
Yeah, it's under the classifieds. You go to classifieds.
Now, something like that would be actually doable. Like if you had a little like community like that, and I mean, of course, you would vet people, because I'm sure they would probably send perps in there to, you know, to infiltrate. But
Yeah.
something like that's a good idea. I mean, have a little RV park. Like, hey, if you can get to this, if you can take a Greyhound to Texas and get to this RV park, we can put you up or something.
Like this person's looking for a roommate in Long Beach, California. This person's looking for another roommate, looking for a live-in care. You can put your ad in there. Sometimes they'll let you do it on PAX. But
Yeah,
yeah, I was just wondering if you knew anybody that went there because I was trying to refer a friend there because he was in Texas and he didn't have no place to go and he emailed him, but I don't think he was very serious about going there, so he didn't end up going. But
I
Yeah,
think,
something like that, man. There's got to be something done because you got TIs walking the streets just giving up on life when really, man, if they just had the right chance and the right opportunity, they would bank on it and be something, you know?
yeah, dude. And my theory is too, is there's a lot of people that are getting hit with this technology, especially the electronic part of it, that don't know that they're getting hit with it. And that
Yep.
actually believe, well, I've just done too many drugs, or like I'm schizophrenic.
Or
Um,
I'm sick. I'm just sick all the
I'm just
time. I
sick.
don't know what's wrong with me. I can't go to the doctor. And really, it's radiation poisoning the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, and so that this issue, what we're talking about, this is, I always say this, this is the most important issue in the history of man. Like this is more important than, like, I mean, this is one of the worst things ever to happen. And there's a lot more people being that are victims of this technology than just us targets. I mean, I think there's millions and millions of people.
Do you ever
Um,
deal with blacklisting? Like,
oh yeah,
like an instance, like I used to, I would have it in my head and I'd be walking to a certain store. We're closed right now temporarily. And then I'd go to the next, a store right down the road a little further. Oh, we're closed temporarily. We'll be open in a couple hours. Like they closed just to, and then Holly has on the way home, well, I'm going to get us something to eat at this store. When she goes to that store, the restaurant will close. Well, we had some kind of emergency. This has happened 9 or 10 times, and within a 2 month period of time. There's no way businesses close like that. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever experienced anything like that?
oh yeah, 100% with the gang
Yeah.
stuff. They've done all kinds of stuff. And they've done the hotel thing with me too. Like I go into a hotel when I didn't have anywhere to stay, and they'd be like, "Oh," and they would get a call.
Yeah.
I've heard your story. And they get a call right when I come in, and they'd be like, "Yeah, we have rooms." And then they get a call, and they'd be like, "Oh, actually, sir, we're actually," and it would happen to one hotel after the next.
Yep.
Or yeah, and to me, they've done it with the jobs. Like every job I would go into, it would be cool for about 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden, I'd go in one day and everybody would hate me. Like I remember one time they had told the staff that I had been that I was some type of peeping tom. Like I would go and look at people
Wow.
secretly in their window, because I would hear comments like, "You better not be looking at my window." Like I'd hear multiple people say that. Like
Wow.
I wish that motherfucker would come look at my little sister in my window, or just stuff like that. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? And they'd be like, oh, nothing. I'm like, what do you mean, oh, nothing? You just said something weird to me, like looking at the window. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What did you just say right there? I try to like ask them. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, nothing. Like, what do you mean? Not, you know what I mean? It's just so that type of blacklisting of jobs. So, or I'd go and apply for a job, and they'd be like, yeah, we don't really hire certain types of people. They'd like say they'd try to indirectly say something to me, like they were told something about me. You know,
Right.
and it's like, yeah, and these people are cowards. I mean, because a man would just come up to you. Like I said, if somebody had said something about, like, oh, that person over there is he looks in people's windows while they're undressing and stuff, I would just go to that person. I'd be like, dude, somebody told me something like you were like looking in people's windows. That's what somebody of integrity would do. But we're not dealing with people with integrity. These people are, you know,
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you got that you want to cover? I
no, not
think we
really.
got about 10 or 15 more minutes.
No, not really. I just kind of wanted, targets to. I recommended that book, Larkin Rose.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look it up.
Yeah, um, the most dangerous superstition, and I would just kind of encourage targets to think about government, and do we need government? Because this current system that we're in, this whole voting, it doesn't work. And
No, and they're driving us towards World War III right now. And do the people want World War III? No, we want peace, but they keep funding this war in Ukraine and Putin's got a right to be mad. I mean, USA is giving Ukraine weapons to fight Putin. So Putin feels like, okay, so now Putin's done went and made a contract with North Korea and is giving North Korea weapons to possibly attack us. How can we be mad? We've been given it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we have no choice over it. They make all the choices for us while we sit back and possibly get blown off the map. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just want people to, I encourage targets to think about just how our government's run, and we have a group of people that want to control other people. I mean,
But
at the
what can we do
philosophical,
about it? Nothing.
yeah, I mean, it's going to take a complete dismantling of society. And unfortunately, it's going to happen whether we like it or not, because, um, like I said before, we are witnessing a tyrannical dictatorship arising right before us,
Yep.
rapidly, to the likes of humanity has never seen. And so, and just us targeted individuals, um, we're just we're just the first signs of.
And
And
it's eventually going to be rolled out on everybody. Like you said, 1984, and everybody's going to be controlled, and they're going to be like, wow, them TIs were right. Now it's happening to us.
yeah, and
Well,
it's like
we told you so.
yeah, and it's like people, the naysayers, like people you try to tell this to, they're like, you're listening to too many alternative medias or conspiracy theorists, and we're talking about the end of humanity here. This isn't like some light subject. This isn't some game to me. This isn't a game. This is something that I have to deal with, and a lot of people are dealing with. Me and you are dealing with 24 hours a day. I mean, this isn't a joke. This isn't like some club that I'm in that I get on the conference call at night and like some type of activity club. This is like we are real victims here, and we're talking about the end of humanity. I mean, this isn't no light subject, and people just have no idea what's really going on. So, but
I'm trying to think of what to name this video. Me and Andrew called up for a chat about TI stuff today or something like that.
yeah, who's doing this and why?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
um,
You
I
got
did.
anything else?
No, no, not really. I did want to. I think I talked to you about. I kind of wanted to post my full testimony, like detailed testimony.
Yeah, yeah. I'm when you get that, I'll be glad to post it.
Yeah, it'll take me a few weeks, but I
Yeah.
want to do like a real detail.
Yeah, because when you
Um,
go real deep into your testimony, it's traumatizing. Like every time I'm asked to do it, and I've only been asked to do it, let's see, twice. Well, I've done one, well, yeah, twice. It's just hard to, because when you're starting to remember all them things, it gets rough. And there's some things you done forgot about because it was so traumatic that come up later, like the dudes at the library with me. Stuff just keeps coming up every day.
yeah, it's.
So
I always.
yeah, I'd love to hear your thorough testimony where you actually give it time and put effort into it, because I'm sure a lot more experiences than you've ever shared would be on that. So yeah, I'd definitely get that posted. I'm sure that my subscribers would love to hear it too. Not
Yeah,
not because they want to hear that you've been tortured, but people want to hear stories they can relate to. It helps them. Hey, I'm not the only one. You know what I'm saying? I'm not crazy. This dude's going through, you know what I'm saying? That's
yeah,
what helps me about it all.
yeah, and especially people that are going through other problems along with being targeted. Is just, a lot of people are experiencing drug use, and um, some of them don't know if it's justified what's happening to them or not, and it's not. And so that's why I think a full testimony helps people to like, oh wow, that guy's going through the same exact thing I did, or wow, man, that same exact thing happened to me, man. And so they get, it makes people feel comforted, like in their heart, that okay, this isn't just happening to me. I'm not just crazy. I've had so many people hit me up that have said that same exact thing to me, like, oh man, that same exact thing happened to me, like, you know, and so I know I've done a few shows. I've done a few testimony on Roy's channel, and then I've actually spoke with Desiree Foley from PAX. Um, I think that was John Hall's. I think she used to be John Hall's girlfriend or something.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get in touch with John Hall this week. I have his office number. I've just been too timid to call, but you know, I don't want to tell a secretary, hey, I'm a TI and I run a YouTube channel. Could you possibly have him call me about an interview? So I'm thinking of how to word it. But yeah, I do have his number. I have called and his anesthesiologist's office, and then they gave me his number to call, and it was another doctor's office number. So I'm thinking about leaving a message.
yeah, dude, I think that would be an awesome interview if you could get John Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just ask him, just really think about what questions you want to ask him.
Yeah, because I'd really have to put some really effort in that because because he's got an understanding of this, and this is an anesthesiologist who believes he puts people to sleep every day. You're gonna call him crazy? He's telling you it's real. You know what I'm saying? People put their lives in his hand every day to put them to sleep, and you think he's nuts? That's why I like the John Hall theory so much because he's a believer and he'll tell you, yeah, they can hack your brain. Yeah, they can do this. This is an anesthesiologist telling you this.
Yeah, that's what I tell a lot of people too. There isn't just like there's a lot of smart people in this that are in this program. I mean, that are
Yep.
very smart people that can vouch that this technology exists. And so it's, I just hope there's a day. I hope there's a day where I told you so moment in our lifetime that we can just look at society and be like, we told you that this was happening. I hope it's not in the form of something really bad, or where people.
Hopefully it's because it ends and it's been made public and not because it's rolled out in the whole population.
That's what I want. I just want some credibility as a TI. Like, man, I told you this was happening for years. We've been telling you that this was going to happen. See, you didn't believe us, and here it is.
Right.
So, but yeah, I don't think I really have anything else to talk about.
All right. Well, I'm fixing to stop the recording. I appreciate you coming out, man. It's been good chatting. I feel like this was a great interview. Well, not interview, but just a chat. And I'm going to stop this recording right now.
All right, see you guys.